Hey everybody, welcome back to Mugs with the Mayor. I'm Kane Natton, Mayor of Sheridan. I'm here with Alden, your City Hall Communications Director / all things behind the scenes. Alden with a plan. It's been a little while since we've sat down with the mugs and the mics, so today's episode is all about catching up. And what's been happening at City Hall, around Sheridan, but we're excited to be back. Alden, how are you today, buddy?
I'm doing great, Kane. Especially because we got Milltown pastries right in front of us, and man, they are delicious.
Milltown pastries, not only Milltown pastries. So we've got our mugs today, which we normally do this at the end, but maybe we need to do it at the beginning. I don't know, just because we've got our mugs, we've got, of course, we got our mugs, but they've got Milltown coffee in them. Lacey brought us some coffee up, heard we were doing an episode, so we've got our favorites. They've got a fall menu going on right now, some great stuff to check out. So we're going to be shoving our faces as well as drinking some really good coffee in our cool mugs today. But we appreciate her, and we appreciate all she does for the city and just sponsoring things when we need sponsors. She does amazing, and we're thankful for her and her business. So today's mug, actually, this is one of the only mugs that I have from my father. It is a Union Pacific Building America mug. It's purple. It's a cool mug, and I got it from my dad, and I am thankful to have it. And so I've got a Union Pacific sponsored by the railroad with a little Milltown coffee in it this morning. Alden, tell us about your mug.
My mug is just straightforward, man. It's just patriotic. It's an American flag. I'm drinking this coffee mug because I had a great Labor Day. And transitioning from Labor Day, I didn't know if y'all saw, this podcast is really just going to recap the summer we had here at City Hall. We had a project called Hometown Hero Pole Banners. It started in April. We made a post, an idea for this effort, and then we had about 12 veterans go up on Independence Day, and then when they were up for about 2 weeks, it really gained traction, and then we had over 70 veterans sign up, and yeah, we stayed up all night putting those banners up, but it was the least we could do for those veterans, and then we've already had more sign up for Veterans Day in November, so the deadline is October 1st for veterans to go up on Veterans Day, and again, it's the least we could do.
But I am so thankful that we had this. Like Alden said, October 1st is the deadline. I know that, man, we're already, almost 80 veterans now that we're going to sponsor. Still looking for sponsorships if you're interested. You don't have to own a business to sponsor. Families can sponsor a banner. I sponsored a banner for my grandfather that went up. If your family wants to get together, put a few bucks together, sponsor a banner, you don't even have to fully sponsor a banner. Anything helps. And honestly, this isn't about the city and what the city's doing. This is about honoring the ones that allow us to live in such a wonderful place and just honoring these heroes.
Shout out Abby Martin and Colton Smith for contacting sponsors with me. I know that a bunch of business around town probably got on their nerves, but we
bombarded with,
yes.
Would you like to sponsor?
But we appreciate all those local businesses that donated as well. We put out a Facebook post at the beginning of the week shouting them out. We couldn't have done it without them. And shout out Ashton, my brother, for helping me put the banners up too. If you want to sign one up, you could always just contact us at City Hall and then send us an email at SheridanCityHall@gmail.com, and we'll get your veteran up there.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about something that happened this summer with a few city leaders. So you had myself, Councilmember Betty Cook, City Attorney Ed Kuhn, as well as Alden, and I'm thankful that he took the time to go. Honestly, it's kind of a struggle sometimes getting city officials to go to Arkansas Municipal League, either winter conferences or summer conventions. They're seminars. You learn all new information. And so 4 of us were able to go this year to the summer convention that took place in the middle of June, around Juneteenth. In fact, the office was closed, but we were in Little Rock on Juneteenth, and we were able to sit through sessions on dilapidated property, updates to FOIA law, which we were just coming out of a legislative session that happens every 2 years in Arkansas, and that's where our legislators like Representative Julie Mayberry, our senators, Senator Matt Stone, Senator Ben Gilmore, that represent our area, they gather together with other legislators and senators across the state, and they come up with new legislation to move the state forward. And so not only does it affect citizens, it affects our office. There have been several changes to, Freedom of Information Act. There's I was looking at an act this morning that affects how our municipality boundaries change and how, we have to adopt new legislation for citizens to fully understand the boundaries. And so we have to file something with the county. So it's great to go to these conventions, not just to learn. And when I tell you we learn, you should see the sessions and seminar we sit through and the PowerPoints that they'll email us after the conferences that we're able to go back and reference to, and just the packets. And I have to say thank you to the Arkansas Municipal League for doing this, because not only do we learn, and I promise you we learn substantial information, and it's pinpointed to our areas. So Alden got to go to a session on dealing with the media when they come to your city, which, being communication director, that solely fits with you. And I'm sure that was a good session. I believe there was there was other newscasters there.
Yeah, there was people from KRK, KTV, THV11. Yeah, the room was full. I had to stand in the back of the room, but could barely hear, but I did learn a lot in that session, though.
Well, and so I went to a session on dilapidated property and how city officials deal with that. I know Ed Kuhn the city attorney went to sessions that dealt with city officials. And Betty Cook and I we always meet beforehand and look at the sessions so that we make sure that we represent different areas of the city, get more information. We bring it back here, and we always do a community spotlight. So that was a really fun time, and you get tons of information. But Alden can attest to this. Betty can attest to it. I'm sure Ed can as well. Not only do you get so much information, you get to meet other representatives from around the state, other mayors. One that I was able to have a pretty good conversation with. Don't know even if he listens to this podcast or not, but Mayor Nathan C. from the city of Pea Ridge, Arkansas. Thankful to get to talk to him, and deal hear with the problems that he deals with that maybe I'm currently dealing with, and it's great. It's great to talk to other mayors and get ideas, bounce ideas off them. So those are great. Looking forward to the winter conference that's coming up in January, and just it allows me to serve you better by continuing education. That's all that's there for, and I'm thankful for that.
Let's switch gears from the Municipal League. Another great thing that happened this summer. At the peak of the summer, when it was the hottest, we had it was a classic, The Lion King, the cartoon version, the one we grew up on, the one I grew up on. But yeah, shout out again to Abby Martin and Colton Smith. They did a great job this summer when they were before college. They worked their butt off here, and they, especially in the heat, they worked their butt off putting that event going. They stayed all night with me and Kane, and they did a great job putting this event on.
Yeah, it was a great time. Appreciate Joel Stanton, our Parks Recreation Director, who constantly finds ways that citizens can have things to do. And that's just one of them. We got another Movies at the Park coming up soon. Shooting for cooler weather, so it's hot today. It's going to be cool tomorrow. I mean, the weather's kind of bipolar right now, but we're hoping to get some cooler weather, and we're going to show The Wizard of Oz coming up just in time for Halloween, and so that'll be a great time, Movies at the Park. So we'll let you know. Make sure you're following on Facebook for more events like that. We want you to have all that information, so make sure you're following along. We'll put it in the Sheridan headline as well. So yeah, Movies at the Park. Bouncing off that, and like I said, this episode is all about catching up, letting you know what's going on, and getting the inside scoop on things just happening, and just hanging out like neighbors do. But something else that has happened recently within the city, and it's bittersweet for me, just because it involves one of longstanding members of city government around Sheridan, and that's the retirement of Councilmember Lynn Camp. It was effective at Tuesday night's meeting, the September City Council meeting that happened on September the 2nd. That was Lynn Camp's last meeting as council member for Ward 3, Position 2. With that being said, he resigned following that meeting. We had a vacancy that night. And so state law dictates we wait 30 days following his resignation to appoint someone new for that position. So if you're interested in serving in that position, there's two requirements. First and foremost, you have to live within that ward. And secondly, you need to turn in a resume for council members to look over, just to know more about you. The council will then go into executive session at next month's meeting. So in executive session, you have myself and you have the council members. Clerk Treasurer Kerry Smith doesn't sit in on that. City Attorney Ed Kuhn doesn't sit in on that. And they'll look over resumes. The council will then come out of executive session, because you cannot make a decision in executive session. All decisions of the city council have to be made in public. So they'll look over those resumes. They'll discuss. The council appoints. It's not a pick from me. It's not a pick from City Attorney Ed Kuhn. It's not a pick from the public. The city council members left. They have to have a quorum at that meeting, a full quorum, and that quorum will then decide who will fill that vacancy. So the vacancy itself is it'll be 14 months. So the remainder of council member Camp's term. So 14 months starting at the November council meeting, November the 4th, and then of course December the 2nd, and on and so on for next year. It is different than a county seat. So with that being said, if the county judge and the governor of the state of Arkansas appoint someone to fill in as a quorum court member or a justice of the peace for the county, if you're appointed for that position, you would not be able to run again for that position. You can't secede yourself. Municipality government changes. So you can secede yourself in a municipality seat like this. So if you're interested in this position, you will be able to run again, and that will be a filing period of next August. So you'll run again with me, which, with that being said, I do plan to run for re-election, so super excited about that. Continuing on, some projects that I've started, and continuing on just some things that I think are great for our city. But if you're interested, Ward 3, Seat 2, contact City Hall. If you don't know which ward you live in, there is a map on Facebook right now that you can look at to see if you live in that zone. If not, call City Hall, 870-942-3921. We'll get you all the information, which ward you live in. So that's something that's happening. We appreciate the service of Lynn Camp. We wish him a happy retirement. Lynn was a straight shooter. I always relied on him to shoot straight, to be the leader that he is, and I'm thankful for his service, not only as council member the past few years since 2015, but also 25 years as city treasurer. And one thing Lynn won't mention, but that you can know about him is Lynn, when he was city treasurer and legislative audit would audit the city, there was not 1 cent Lynn was off. And I'm thankful for his knowledge and a wealth of knowledge that we will now miss. So happy retirement, Lynn. Hope you enjoy it. And if you're interested in that position, contact City Hall. Bring your resume up here. We'll go from there. All right. So one last thing that we can discuss, Alden, something that, City Council's all on board for, something that the Parks and Recreation Committee is all on board with. Joel Stanton, Parks and Recreation Director, myself, we're all on board for, and that is a reappropriation of a Sheridan Parks and Recreation 1% bond issue. So currently right now, every dollar that you spend in the city of Sheridan, there is a sales and use tax on that. It's in place. It's not going anywhere. We've noticed around Parks and Recreation that there are some improvements that need to be made. And we've calculated that currently with that bond issue in place. It'll take us 25 years to complete those projects. And if you go out to our Parks and Recreation, you understand that there are some updates that need to be made, especially to the Joe Wise Jr. Recreational Center that was built in 1988, and it needs brought up to ADA compliancy as well as just a major facelift. But so what we are going to petition to the voters of the city of Sheridan is a reappropriation of that existing bond. $5 million in improvements and additions to Parks and Recreation. It includes improvements to the rec center, bringing it up to ADA compliancy, as well as adding air conditioning to the building itself. This would also be an ADA Miracle League turf field for T-ball games, Miracle League games that we're super excited to partner with local businesses to put on a league. This will complete LED lighting around the complex, as well as add additional LED lighting to nature trails, all of the asphalt trails that we have out at Parks and Recreation for people to use, not only during the day but at night. The demolition and installation of tennis courts. Our tennis courts are in pretty bad shape. They weren't made as tennis courts, so that's made it hard to maintain them. So this will be a new 2 tennis courts out at Parks and Recreation that not only do citizens use, but we partner with Sheridan School District tennis team to use those tennis fields. So we're hoping to continue partnership with the school district. This will include a storage building for Parks and Recreation to store mowers, have an area where our employees can have lockers, an area where they can eat lunch besides just outside at the rec center. This will be a road widening project, especially around the Parks and Recreation that lead to the soccer fields. Everybody knows which curve I'm talking about at the soccer fields that needs widened. That will be a project. This will be renovation to the pool, splash pad, dog park. And this is something that will affect everyone that uses our Parks and Recreation. Reminder, first and foremost, this is not a tax increase. The word tax raises everybody's blood pressure. This is not a tax increase. This is surplus advancement of future collection of tax that's already in place. And to explain that, we can do all these projects. Currently, we can do all of them. It's just going to take us 25 years to do them. And that's okay. If the voters decide that they don't want to take this surplus advancement of the sales and use bond, that's totally okay. We can do the project over 25 years. Or if we do this, we can do it within the next 3 years. And then again in 12 years, and just keep up as the city continues to grow. Like I said, this ordinance has been presented and passed by the Sheridan City Council. And we have the election ordinance here at the office if you want to look over it. This is something that I fully endorse. And if passed, the city would have the $5 million in hand by April of 2026, and all projects must be completed within 3 years. So that would be April of 2029. And, there's some miscommunication too. This funding will only be available for Parks and Recreation. It's not like we can use any of this for water and sewer or general fund or public safety. It'll only be for Parks and Recreation. So if you need more information on that, call me here at the office. Send me an email, SheridanMayor@windstream.net. Love to answer any of your questions. Like I said, this is not a tax increase. The word tax raises everybody's blood pressure. I am in no way, shape, or form wanting to raise taxes whatsoever. I said that before I was elected mayor. I continue saying that as your mayor. I do not want to raise taxes. This is a smart way to have something nice and new out of our Parks and Recreation. So shoot me your emails if you questions and email if you have them. Call me. That about does it for today's catch-up session, Alden. I want to thank you for joining us, letting us share a little slice of what's been going on here around the city, around Sheridan. We got a ton of stuff coming up. We got Timberfest. We've got Chris on the Square. We got the fair. Man, it's what I like to call parade season around Sheridan. We got 3 parades in the next 3 months. So super excited about that. Alden, people don't need to forget they can follow us along on Facebook. I mean, Communication-wise, Alden, how important is that?
Oh, very important. We got Instagram you can follow us up on. We got Facebook. We got Twitter. We got YouTube where you can find this podcast. I mean, or if you really need to get a hold of stuff and keep up to date, you can always call up here at City Hall. Again, I think that's this podcast perfectly recaps our successful summer here at City Hall and as a city. Kane, you got anything else you want to add?
Yes. Until next time, keep looking out for each other. Stay proud of our hometown. And remember, our mugs are always raised to you. See you next time.